All right, Shalom. Good morning, boys. Here. Well, I was coming out here today and just walking the land and just thinking and meditating. Uh, we see what's going on in the economy today. Of those who have the eyes to see, we clearly see the economic decline that is unfolding right before our very eyes, and the few that get it and understood it many years ago, we saw all of this inflation. We saw uh, what was going to take place, and we moved and we prepared our houses, and we understood the need to do these things and to make the sacrifices. But unfortunately, a lot of people uh, years ago, they mocked us, they ridiculed they ridiculed us. They said that we were conspiracy theories. They said that we were crazy. How could you leave, your corporate job? How could you leave your rental properties? How could you leave your home? How could you leave your family? How could you do these things? And we understood that when we made these choices and decisions, that this kind of persecution was going to come up on us. And this was prophesied in Matthew, and this is why you need to know the word, because uh, it was prophesied, and it was stated that when you uh, decided to do this thing, you would have to forsake lands and families, and brothers and sisters and mothers and children and houses and life. It said this in Matthew, but a lot of people uh, they don't know the word, so they didn't understand. And what we're having today, we're having the same problem. We're having the same problem that people don't know the word, so therefore they're not willing to forsake any of these things. And as a direct result of that, they're going to be, and they are becoming entrapped in the snare of this situation. The scriptures clearly say, "Come out of her, my people," uh, and and be separate. And a lot of people, what they want to do is they want to ride the fence. What they want to do is they want to attempt to be in a situation where they can keep and save their families, uh, and at the same time claim that they are uh, living set apart. And it's a schizophrenic thought process to those who really understand it. But it's neither here nor there. And it's sad because over the past, I would say, 5 years, uh, and definitely since COVID, I've seen people that have been riding high. Let me tell you, man, everything in life is good, and you attempt to warn these people. You attempt to educate these people in terms of what's going on. And they feel as though because they're riding high, uh, everything is fine. And so, therefore, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to uh, make any adjustments, even though they see what's going on. And I understand, what the situation is. A lot of people, they deal with fear, uh, fear, fear of the unknown. And I've seen this spirit on so many people because, I've seen it and experienced it myself. Moving out into the country, only somebody could imagine being in a situation as to where you once uh, were living the life, uh, being in the city, doing all of the things that one lives and does in the city. Uh, and I had a pretty good life out there. I mean, I had the nice suits. I had the nice lifestyle. I was able to travel and do what I wanted to do. I was able to live the life that I wanted to live. Uh, and then, as a direct result of giving that up and then moving out to the country, uh, there was a lot of unanswered questions because I didn't have all of the answers. And great fear comes up on those who do it because it's a totally different life and it's diametrically opposed to the life in which you once lived. And what I came to find was that if you walked in faith and not fear, that uh, the situations necessary to preserve yourself and not only to survive but thrive will be put before you. And I'm a living testimony of that. Uh, but a lot of people, they don't have the faith, uh, and they are so fearful of what uh, they don't know, when they don't even understand how to just basically say, okay, uh, these are the things that I can't control. These are the things that I can control, and let me plan accordingly. So this is why we always talk about making sure that we are educating ourselves when it comes to homesteading, gardening, learning how to do these things, so that you're not just flying blind. I've seen so many people, uh, they move and they have no plan whatsoever. They move, uh, and they haven't invested any kind of uh, time, energy, and effort into improving themselves personally. And what ends up happening, which I see happening, is they end up failing at this thing. I've seen people in the past, they move to the country and then they fail and they move right back to the city and then they start downing country life. Uh, I've seen people over the past uh, 5 years, like I said, go from everything is going fine in their life, and now they're living in a van. They're homeless. Uh, they become baby mamas, and now they're struggling. And you may want to ask yourself the question, why is it that you don't save or help these people now? And it's a simple reason why. It's because they haven't learned their lesson. They haven't learned their lesson. And it's a matter. I watch these videos on YouTube of people reporting on all of the inflation, people living in vans, the van life, people are getting evicted, people, and I can put I can put faces to this. People that, their job and their career, whatever, was going fine, and now they have to move them and their children back to their parents' house. People living in vans, people being evicted, people repo, and none of these people that I know personally thought that this could happen to them. I shit you not. Not one of them ever thought that they'd be homeless. Not one of them ever thought that they'd be jobless. Not one of them ever thought that they'd be evicted or they'd be living in a van. They never thought that, because at the time they were prideful, they were haughty, and they believed in this system. They believed in this system of things, that it would maintain them. And I'm seeing it again. I'm seeing it again today. I talk to people, about politics, and I'm not for Trump or Kamala Harris, but it's interesting to hear people profess their love for Kamala Harris. And I say, well, what about the immigrant crisis? There is no, see, it's amazing, right? These people, I talk to these people, there is no immigration crisis. There is no uptick in immigration. These people are totally, I'm talking about educated people. I'm talking about college educated people with homes and married and children and families. And I'll tell you, totally deceived. This is why, people have to eat the fruit of their own ways. People have to just really deal with the repercussions, because you can't be in a situation, and I wouldn't recommend anybody out there, people that have gone down this route and that did not heed the warning, let them eat the fruit of their own ways. Don't help them or don't save them at all. I just now did a video a year ago, interviewing a sister. You can go into my archives, interviewing this sister about polygyny. And she was telling me about all of the benefits and this, that, and the third, and so forth. You wouldn't imagine the situation that this sister is in today. She never thought that she'd be in this situation. It's pretty sad. It really is pretty sad. But hey, people, if they don't get it, they don't get it. Let them, because see, there's these external economic situations that are swallowing people up. What are you gonna do if you lose your job? Because see, people, they think that they have job security when there's no such thing as job security. People think that they have home security when they're one, not two paychecks away from the streets. I tell you, it's sad. One sickness, one disease. You know, I'm seeing so many people come down with so many sicknesses and ailments today. It ain't funny. You know, but because on Facebook there's their public life and then there's private life, and they don't proclaim, and they don't. You know, it's amazing how people will put out there when they're going on trips and everything, but won't put out there when they laid up in the hospital sick, but they blessed, right? Um, it's sad. It really is sad. You can't help folks that refuse to see the warning signs and make the sacrifices, because again, everybody's trying to save their flesh, and people are topped off with so much fear from so much trauma that they've had in their life. And I'm telling you, if the Most High don't break through all of that fear, all of that trauma, um, uh, I'm telling you, they're just gonna go the way of the dodo bird, and I'm seeing it. See, it's one thing to see people talk about these issues. It's another thing to put an actual face to it. It's sad because people think they have all the time in the world. People think that they have all of the options in the world. But when you actually talk to people, you find out what's really going on, because, you know, it's nothing like a real heart-to-heart conversation. It's not like a real heart-to-heart conversation. And few people can withstand such heart-to-heart conversation, because you have to deal with the reality, because you're dealing and you're engaging in conversation with somebody that lives in reality. I don't live in a false, fake uh, world that I've produced for myself. You know, it's nothing like being able to grow your own food and hunt, and not have to worry about a mortgage or rent, or not have to worry about whether I'm going to get laid off, or you know, it's sad. It really is sad. But there's very few people that is going to get it. Let people deal with the repercussions of their own choices and decisions, their own poor choices and decisions. Um, uh, sure, there's going to be pain. Yes, there's going to be pain. Uh, I'll never forget the time, the first week, you know, I moved out here. I'm telling you, man, all types of pain and fears, and it wasn't nothing but Satan. There's very few people can get past that feeling, because all it is feelings and emotions. And people are not dealing with logic. People are not dealing with the notion that, hey, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to go through some pain. You're going to have to go through some challenges. But if you see it through, and people don't want to see it through, everybody wants to circumvent the pain. They want the reward, but they don't want the pain. They want the increase, but they don't want the sacrifice. They want the security, but they don't want to deal with the relinquishing of uh, their own pride, their own arrogance, their own fear, their own apprehensions, their own selfishness, their own greed. They're not going to get rid of any, and they're going to deal with this situation. I'm telling you, I'm batting 1,000. I'm batting 1,000, and it's sorrowful, because this is not an issue of a man getting up, and I'm not getting up here talking about thus saith the Lord and prophesies, and I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is just basically seeing the sign of the times and saying this is the natural progression of things when people fail to heed the warning, when people fail to look at the situation from a logical perspective and say, okay, this is what I need to do in order to put myself in a better situation. We all have roles. I'll take from a Hugh Bragg perspective. A woman was designed to be a helpmeet. A man was designed to be a leader of his home and to serve Yah and to live an agricultural set apart lifestyle. Now you can disagree with me. You can argue with me. You can uh, do whatever you want, but that's not going to change the facts of that matter. We were an agricultural people, a set apart people. Now, how can we be set apart if we're living amongst the heathen? See, I don't live amongst the heathen and the pagan. See, no. You see that right there? No. But what they attempt to do is they attempt to have a similitude of these things when they don't really live it at all. It's pretty sad. But hey, this is why the scriptures say after the first and second admonition, reject. Leave people. I don't waste too much time with people that don't seem to get it and that don't seem to understand what's happening right before their very eyes. Why? Because they think they have all the time in the world. When I have situation after situation, and people think that their situation is unique. It's amazing when you talk to people. They think that they're unique from everybody else when they work the same job, pay the same rent, go and do the same things, rely on the same system that everybody else is relying on, and have the same thought process, the same lifestyle that is no different from Christianity at this day and age. But hey, let me get after it. I got this goat to butcher because I like me some goat roti. But hey, there's only going to be a few people going to get it. People are going to have to just deal with their repercussions of their own poor choices and decisions. You can't help these people. We have parking lots full of homeless people. You say, well, why don't you just go and help out, some homeless people that's living in the parking lot at Walmart? Why not just help those people? Why not go down to a homeless shelter or go down to wherever else, van life, wherever else people that that's dealing with these situations. You know why you can't do it? Because they haven't learned from their own poor choices and decisions. And you have to understand what got them into that situation in the first place, especially if they had somebody like me that said, hey, listen, brother, hey, listen here, sister, this is the way you need to go. And they chose to not. I've seen this situation, but I can put faces to it. I can assure you of that. And you know what they do? They double down. I've seen this. There's only going to be a remnant. There's only going to be a few people that's going to get it. But let me get after the day. Y'all stay blessed. Heed the warning. Move. Read Proverbs 1. 1 through 28, or to the end of the chapter. It'll tell you exactly what's going on in the hearts of men and how Yah is going to deal with these people when calamity hits. It's because his ways is higher than our ways, and people don't get it. But hey, let them eat the fruit of their own ways. Shalom.